Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is AJ Plays. Welcome back to another video. And today we got a bit of a shorter one. Because for the moment I only have the two. Obviously this is going to be combined with the next lot that I end up getting. At the point of recording this video, it is July 9th. If the last video isn't out already, it will be out before this one goes up, because this will go up at the end of the month. I don't know. I have the two files, I just haven't put them together yet. But anyway, that's last month. It should be up by the time this video is up. If it's not up and I've put this one up first, then I'm very concerned. Oh, excuse me. Actually, no. So, day recording, July 9th. I will put those two previous recordings together, plonk out a video, and then put this one out when I've actually, you know, got everything. All that kind of thing. But today we got two. We got two legends in the Nerf community today, ladies and gentlemen, and people that watch these videos. We have the Nerf Elite Alpha Trooper, and I'm going to start with this. I'm going to take off the stockade stock because it's not the Alpha Trooper stuff. Get it out of here. So this bad boy right here is the Alpha Trooper CS12. If you can hear wind, it's because it's hot in the UK again, and I got my fan going behind me. So if you hear that, I apologise. If you don't, then you've just seen me in a very awkward position. But anyway, back to the Alpha Trooper. So this is the Nerf Elite Alpha Trooper CS12. I actually have the correct magazine in it this time. Unlike every other time where I've just shown a random magazine I've ended up putting in it. So, you might look at this thing and they're like, oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Pump action. And you hold the trigger down. It's got our good old friend. It's got the good old slam fire in it. And yeah. I've spent a little bit of time with this. It is quite fun. Oh, I still have that left. Any more? No, that is the mag out. Okay. So, there we go. Overall aesthetics, it looks pretty weird. It looks like this part isn't like supposed to be here. If you can just like imagine just this bit. Like you can imagine that just being it in itself, and then somebody's just gone and slapped an extension on it. You could also imagine this thing being a top prime at some point, and then they just went, nah, we'll make the barrel longer so that you can put a pump on it. I haven't done anything to this yet. I haven't really thought about anything I could possibly do. I mean, obviously I still have time to look at stuff and kind of see what I want to do to this thing, but I don't think I'm going to do any of that yet. So, manual of arms. Assuming this is out. So, manual of arms, pull back, shove mag in, push forward, and fire. Or you could shorten that last step down by just holding the trigger and it fires itself. It is a bolt system that you have to prime it to get the mag out. So if you plan on storing this thing with the mags in, which I do, but I don't recommend, then yeah, you're gonna have to put in an extra one and fire it off somewhere before you do that. Also, this thing has an extra dart spot at the bottom for some reason. There you go. You got an extra dart in the grip. I'm guessing that's a desperation kind of thing, because you can't really easily single load these. Okay, you can. Okay, you can kind of easily single load it, but I genuinely don't know what that's for. I guess it was just a thing to fill out the grit. I'm not sure. But either way, going from front to back, we got no end strike barrel lug. Surprisingly, they did a Gen 2 of this called the AccuTrooper in the Nerf AccuStrike line, and they did put a barrel lug up the front. So I don't know. I couldn't. Quite frankly, I couldn't find the AccuTrooper before I found this. So yeah, weird decision there, Hasbro. Why didn't it have a lug on it originally? I don't know. Either way, and then behind the barrel, you got the prime and grip, which is quite nice. You can underhand it, or you can I don't know why you'd want to do that, because it's a pump action. But they did have a little bit of foresight. They put a backstop on there so that your fingers don't slide off, and you can kind of put your pinky on it, put your pinky around the back to kind of help pull it forward a bit. You kind of do have to C-clamp this, because if you try and like lazy pump it, you're gonna catch your thumb on the end of the barrel there. It doesn't feel great, but you know. And yeah, so pull that back, you get access to the jam door, which is a very big jam door. It closes. I think does it have also shut? It does. You got a big old magazine welder. Fits any end strike magazine. I haven't tried a bunch of them yet. But looking at the geometry of it and it being very flat, I'm assuming you can just stick a Titan 50 in there and just go 50 darts in a row. I don't know who would want to do that, but you can probably do that. Move it back a bit. You got a tack rail up the top, single tack rail. You got a grip, which is the standard Elite design with the 3-finger troils, and is very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. At the back, you get a stock attachment, but only the ones with the holes in it, like the stockade stock that came with this, will fit, because that's actually where the plunger goes. So you can tell this is an older design, because they didn't design it around having the plunger. So I don't know if you can see in there, very, very vaguely, but you can see the spring. That right there is not only a prime indicator, but it is also the base of the plunger head. Now, they do have screws, unlike in the Elite 2.0 ones where they just solvent welded it. You got the screws, and you can take that off. I don't know what people do when they take the stock attachment off these things. I think they changed the springs out. Not entirely sure, but it looks like a decent amount of room in there. But overall, you know, this thing, actually this is why I have this one. This thing works very well and is buttery smooth. Buttery. The slant fire, butter smooth, everything very smooth. I do like this. If you are a nerfer and you don't already have this in your collection, ironic coming from me. I mean, Jesus Christ, I managed to find a Rhino Fire and a Vulcan before I got this thing. And a Nemesis, somehow. I still don't know how the fuck I have one of them. The Rival Nemesis. I don't know how I have that. But, you know, I found it. It was cheap. I took the opportunity. I bought it. But this right here is a quintessential part of the nerfing community, because a majority of the modders that are in our current space got their start with these things, and a lot of Nerf YouTubers as well got their starts modifying these things and selling them on and all that kind of thing. You know, this thing pioneered a lot. And without the Alpha Trooper kind of proving that these formats would work, we probably wouldn't have half of the stuff that I have today and other creators have today. So this thing is part of the framework of Nerf, and it is a honor for me to have one of these in the collection with the correct magazine. I'm quite proud of that, actually. I don't know why. It should be a normal thing. So yeah, Alpha Trooper. These things are still cheap. Alpha Troopers are still cheap. I don't know about Accu Troopers. They could be expensive. I'm not quite sure. Generally, anything AccuStrike is kind of more expensive and slightly more difficult to find. Excuse me. But overall, Alpha Trooper good. Alpha Trooper good. Alpha Trooper, yes, very good. Very good blasting, yeah. And we are moving on to something that is not Nerf. It is not Eggshot or Zuru. This is from a company called Busby. I don't know if we got these in the UK or if I am just exceedingly lucky. I got a Busby Sentinel. I don't know how. I don't know how the fuck I came across this thing. So I'll explain the tape in a minute. So Busby. The Busby Sentinel. Now, I started off this video by saying that I have two pieces of Nerf history. This thing obviously isn't Nerf. I mean, look at it. Nerf wouldn't produce something like this. This is the Busby Toys Ultra Tech Sentinel. And it hits considerably harder than Nerf Time. There we go. This thing is unofficially, I think, what inspired the Zombie Stroke Slingfire and the Zombie Strike Scavenger. For those of you who aren't aware, those two are lever guns. So is this one. Except the prime's a little bit harder because Busby. And it's a little bit smaller, again, because Busby. If you have never heard of the Busby Sentinel, pause this video. Open another tab in Chrome, or, you know, leave this in your history and just look up the perspective of the Busby Sentinel and what it did for foam flinging. I'll wait. It's fine. It's fine. I gotta do the manual about it anyway. Are we back? Okay. Cool. So, the Busby Sentinel. This thing differs from the Slingfire and the Scavenger. I'm thinking about it, the Slingfire might have come first, but I digress. This thing differs in one major way, as I'm sure was probably said in those videos. Definitely didn't wait for this one to finish before watching, or you're going to watch after this, after I do that kind of thing. Either way, this thing differs from the Slingfire and the Scavenger by having a metal priming bar. A metal lever. Which, if you know the slingfire, this does not go nearly as far. But it shoots a fair bit harder. This thing has a metal priming arm. And now the reason it's covered in painter's tape is because when I got this thing, the grip, the actual metal, had broken. So the seller's son, I believe is what it said, used electrical tape and duct tape to kind of fix it and make it a bit more comfortable. I tore that all off, not knowing that the priming arm was broken. So this part of the grip had essentially just disconnected. It had basically just snapped perfectly off somehow. I don't know. And I'm not blaming anybody, obviously. That is just what happens with these kinds of things. You know, they get thrown about a bit, they get left in places. Materials deteriorate. And I thought, oh, okay. So, this is broken, obviously. I am not a fabricator of any extent. So I could not kind of weld it back together. All that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure this wouldn't even take to welding anyway because it's a specifically kind of treated material, I guess. I don't know. But overall, this thing is comfortable. It's reliable. It holds well. And I have not had any issues at all with the grip after doing this. Now, why this is important is because there is now no flex in this linkage. There's a bit of mechanical wiggle because of the plastic kind of bearing, I guess you could say, around the internals so that the metal doesn't destroy the plastic that it rotates around. But the actual bar itself doesn't bend, it doesn't flex, it doesn't do anything, and that is the advantage of having a metal prime bar. Everything else about this thing is insane. The mag release, obviously, it's a leather, so you have to prime it first to put the mag in. The magazine release is a button, and it mag drops, and it's compatible with Nerf mags. Like, really compatible with Nerf mags. I haven't tried drums in this yet, predominantly because I don't want this priming arm to break again. But, you know, I'm guessing from the placement of the button, drums aren't quite intended for this thing. Actually, I can just grab my 30 round drum real quick. Right, 30 round drum. This is a tape. I have not actually done this yet. Okay. It fits fine. Well, hot damn. I genuinely did not know that. Huh. Right, well. I might have to try and find another 25 or something. Because I've predominantly been using the 18 rounder mags, and if I felt lazy, the Busby 8 that this thing came with. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. Very, very, very plain. Little Busby Toys logo right there. Camera, focus please. There you go. So yeah, these things. Oh yeah, by the way, these Busby mags are also Nerf compatible because that was a thing at the time that Busby had to maintain. Otherwise, they'd get blown out the water. But the Busby Sentinel. Back to the Busby Sentinel. So back to the aesthetics of this thing. Obviously, it is white and grey with 2 splotches of blue and a bit of orange. But the design on this thing is beautiful in its simplicity. It is just a little guy. I say little. It's bigger than an Alpha Trooper, but it's surprising. This little guy is good. It's a good design. The grip, while you do have to have the lever in it, is quite nice. And obviously, you can just slip your finger underneath. In fact, I don't think there's even any worry of it priming itself. Nope, there is no risk of damage to anything as far as I'm aware. If you do that and have your fingers underneath, the trigger pull, it's just... Okay, use that as a backstop. The trigger pull, there's basically no take up and then a clean break. As I've already said, mag release is this button, which is on the center line, so fully ambidextrous. There is no jam door, which is what I thought this bit was, but if I just quickly try and... I've popped this off with my hands before. There we go. Yeah, that's just to keep the... Ooh, shit. That's just to keep the shell together. I'm assuming, I don't know. Swig of a beverage. It's hot and my joints hurt, don't blame me. Anyway, so you get a barrel up front and a nice chunky grip, which works very well. The size of this thing, the size of the stock does mean that you're not actually meant to like aim with it, because it's very cramped. Like, it's not even on my shoulder right now. If I got this on my shoulder, there we go. That's what I get. Very cramped. So I'm guessing they intended this thing as kind of like a Terminator kind of hip fire thing. You can't. I don't think you can flip cock this thing. Flip prone. Oh. Yeah, no, it hates it when you do that. Okay. Good to know. So you can't sling this thing to prime it like the sling fire, although the mechanical advantage and the spring in that thing, it's meant for you to do that, I think, by design. But I need to readjust this too. It's falling off. Anyway, overall, if you have any luck finding this thing, first of all, check that this isn't broken, because it takes a lot of tape to hold on, as you can see. Like, that's one layer of paint. I think, is it painter's tape? I don't know. I think it's painter's tape. And then a couple of layers around here, a couple of layers around here, and then about half the roll was on each of these ends, because this is where the breakage was, in here. So, you know, it's been repaired with tape, but it works. It works well enough. And yeah, I mean, overall, if you can find a Busby Sentinel in the UK, I don't know if these actually got released here, or if I just got lucky with somebody that imported it for their kid. I have no idea. I don't know. I probably did get exceedingly lucky with this thing. But either way, if you can find a Busby Sentinel here in the UK, go for it. It's fun, it shoots harder than Nerf, and if you've already got a decent stockpile and you've got a bunch of leftover magazines, this thing will take them just fine. Yeah. And if anybody in America watches these videos, I would be surprised if they do. But if there are any Americans watching this video, you'll probably find these either at a garage sale or a thrift store or whatever, something like that. Thrift shop. You'll find them basically everywhere. They're not particular. They're in box. They're rare, obviously, because this thing's about 10 years old. But used, I don't think they're that bad. Again, I probably got really, as somebody in the UK, I probably got very lucky with this. The fact that somebody had one and their kid didn't want it anymore, or they've outgrown it, that kind of thing. Again, I probably got lucky, I will admit that. But if you can find this, if you can find Le Busby Sentinel, it is worth it. It is definitely interesting as a part of the history, and of course, this half of the video was about history makers, and the Busby Sentinel is basically the only time Busby's outperformed Nerf in terms of quality and straight up just performance. And the Alpha Trooper is the beginning of so much of what is the modern hobby. So if you can find either of these and you don't have them already, go for it. Just go for it. So yeah. Right. At some point in the next few seconds there is going to be a cut, and yeah. Right. Get you put on there. Alright. Excuse me. Plugged in. Very good. Getting soggy today. There's Regina. And my camera's still too high. Okay. Right. Not spawn, but just good. Anywho. Ladies and gents, hello. Part 2. No, 2. I don't know if I'm going to add anything else to this part. I might just stitch this part on to the first one, as you've just seen. I don't know if there's going to be a part after this or not, but you know. So I've only got one right now. For this video at least, but I'm looking off camera because it's sat there already. I did do at least a little bit of arranging before, you know, turning the camera on and hitting record. Titan's still there, by the way. So the first half was trendsetters. The first half was the Busby Sentinel and the Elite Alpha Trooper. And they kind of set kind of the bounds for what foam flinging could come up from. This one that I have today is the most ridiculous, that Hasbro ever got. It is the most expensive Hasbro ever got, as far as I'm aware. If there is something more expensive than this, then you know, if you know, then put it in the comments, I guess. One of I think my last video of 2024, obviously I changed the hashtag in it fairly quickly because I realized that wasn't potentially a thing, but I didn't change over it in the video. Now, if you go back and you look at, I believe it's the last video of 2024, can't quite remember, the hashtags in the description said Year of the Perseus, but if you go into the video, then it's something different. The only reason I changed it to the Year of the Perseus is because I thought I would never be able to get my hands on this one. But I guess at this point, that description's out of date. If you don't know what this is, ladies and gentlemen, this year has just turned back into the Year of the Prometheus. This is the Nerf rival Spec Ops. I think it's either Ghost Ops or it's Spec Ops. I can't remember now. Either way, yeah, I got it. I got incredibly lucky on eBay. Incredibly lucky on eBay. This came complete. It came with a charger. It didn't come with the charger, I'm assuming, because they probably lost the charger, but it's a charger. It does the job. It came with the battery. It came with its it came with the two coloured flags, the red and the blue flags that you can tag on the back or on the front. And it also came with its rival branded shoulder strap. There we go. And it also came with its detachable foregrip. And the rounds that you see in here are not my rounds. They are the rounds that came with this. And it is fully functional. And I could not be any more excited. This is the magnum opus of... There we go. This is the magnum opus of my collecting. I know I've said that several times about a few things. I know I said it about the Nemesis at the time as well, and the Titan actually, and the Rhino Fire and the Havoc Fire. Sorry, I have to look at that occasionally because I remember the American name, not the English one, because that had a different name in the US. But again, I digress. I'm rambling. I'm excited. Ladies and gents, we have done it. We have done it. I have in my hands a fully functional Nerf rival Prometheus. And it is everything I thought it was going to be. LED. still can't believe this thing actually turned up. Gotta be honest, when I hit order on eBay, I kind of wasn't expecting this to show up. I thought it was gonna be, you know, stuck in delivery limbo, and then I'd have to, like, I don't know, get like a credit refund or whatever from eBay, and then try and hunt down another one. You can understand my amazement and my absolute brick shitting that there was a dirty great box just left outside the front door, and when I got it upstairs, when I got it in here into the dungeon, I was buzzing. I still kind of am. Quite frankly, I can't believe this thing actually showed up, and it's here. It is a very big boy, and I could not be any happier. Like, I had to swoop in for this listing, because as soon as I saw it up, I knew that if I didn't immediately put my money down on it, that it would be gone within a matter of hours. So I bit the bullet. It was a decent chunk of change, but still cheaper than it was when it was brand new. But it was a decent chunk of change. My bank account is definitely feeling it, but that'll sort itself out. I can minimize the rest of my expenditures for this month, because I have my dream now. So yeah, I didn't expect this to happen this side of this year. Quite frankly, I was expecting to be at the end of this year to be like, you know, we didn't quite get Prometheus or the Perseus, whichever I'd stuck with this year, but you know, we'll get them next year. We have just started August. It is August 1st I'm recording this, and how does the okay so yeah, this now has its own spot. I got some shelving to kind of move my Lego off of there. Not specifically for this, I didn't know that this was going to show up when I did that. But, you know, it is now become for this, this beauty. And, yeah, it is, this is the peak of what Rival ever did. This is just the most ridiculous possible thing they could have done, and I could not be happier that they did. So I am not going to hop a dump this thing. I'm not going to hop a dump this thing, because this thing holds 200 rounds, and it came with 192. Yes, I counted, don't judge me. So I'm gonna shoot off just a little bit of this, and then I'm gonna sit back down, gonna collect myself, and kind of end this segment fairly quickly, because I am just so happy that I have this. So let's get this on the go, I guess. I have already hopper dumped this just personally, and it was very smooth, very smooth. So I'm just gonna. Am I gonna have to adjust the camera? Probably not. So, standard control suite, rev trigger, fire and trigger. Good and actually good foregrip. This thing looks heavy. It is surprisingly light. It's not as. It is okay. It is fairly back heavy, but it's not as like. It's not as whippable as the Titan was, mostly because there's a bigger gap between the handles. As I kind of accidentally showed, you can take this out, you can grip off, you can flip it around. So I'm just gonna take a couple of sighting shots, and then actually I might as well just dump this thing because I'm never bloody hell no. So you know, arrivederci. Right, that's enough of that. So yeah, let me just unplug y'all real quick. So there's some rounds. Let me just real quick, some on the floor, and if we go around the other side, there's my dark catch. This thing outputs these rounds so quickly that my dart catch actually gets overwhelmed by the power. Now, you remember the Nemesis's rate of fire, you know, it was fairly good. This angle is terrible for me. Much apologies, but I do actually have to pick these up, because if I don't, I know I will lose them, because I'm a moron. How the hell did you get in my back? Okay. There we go. We're all back up. Okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, get you on. Get in. You bastard. Get in. Okay. Right. Sit y'all back down. And I'm just gonna give it the burst. Okay, I've got to stop for a second. Yet again, rounds going everywhere. Nearly lost my dart catch on that one. This is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I love this thing. It does spread a fair bit of round dust. There's just yellow dust all over my bed now, and all over the camera, because of course there is. Right. I don't know how many rounds I've got left. I've got a few. So we're just gonna... Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love. This is amazing. Excuse me, folks. There we go. So, there it is. And I'm just gonna show you all of the rival dust that comes off of these rounds. There's also some on my screen. God, this is so messy. So yeah. I'm gonna have to get Henry in here in a second, because that is so much dust. So, yeah. I might need a new dart catch soon, because I feel like if I keep blasting this at it, it's gonna go through it. But, there we go. Yeah, lock that. Okay, good. Any stuck ones? Any loose? No, could do with a bit of a spritz up, but we can crazy. Nice and kind of clean anyway. Anyway, so that's the Marvel Prometheus. It is big, ridiculous, and I have never been more in love with anything that I have purchased. This is the coolest thing I now own. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, I guess. Again, I don't know if there's going to be a cut after this or not. I might actually just take this one and the previous one and put that out, just so I get something out this month. I don't know, but either way, yeah, this thing is a goddamn dream. Am I gonna recommend that you get this? Because that is a thing I do now, apparently. Is it a lot of money for what it is? Yeah, it is a lot of money for what it is. Is it fun as fuck? Abso-goddamn-witely. Am I gonna recommend that you purchase this? Unless you are specifically looking for something big, noisy, ridiculous, or you just want to decimate competition. Unless you are looking for those specific things, maybe don't try and track one of these down, because it is a nightmare to find. Believe me, I've been looking. I've been keeping my eyes out for like 2 years now, and it was only like last week that I found this baby. She needed a home, and I am more than willing to give her a home. So this is the pride of my collection. Now, I don't do this kind of thing to brag about what I have or anything like that, because you know, stuff like this, it's out of a lot of people's price ranges, it's out of a lot of kids' price ranges, even though this is rival, so you shouldn't really be buying little Timmy a 100 FPS, several dozen round a second rival gun. You know, they've got other stuff for that, but I don't do this for bragging purposes. I don't do this so that I can be like, hey, look at the stuff I've got, you know, this is stuff you don't have and I'm gonna brag in front of you about it. I am doing this because COVID did a lot of things for me. COVID was a struggle, personally, and you know, I started watching Nerf videos. Coop 772, legend, we still miss you to this day. And Welcome S7, and you know, Captain Xavier. These these are channels that gave me something to watch. And when I started making money, you know, when I started working in late 21, you know, I got the opportunity to start with this kind of thing. And that's when, you know, the Rough Cut and the Centurion came into my life. And initially I looked at the Centurion and went, well, that's it. This is the coolest thing I could possibly have. And 4 years later, you know, it's hit this point where, yes, I have switched jobs and I do bust my ass, I admit, but, you know, it's, let's face it, the only other thing that I really picked up watching in COVID was model trains. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. But, you know, that's ridiculous amounts of money for train go round insert. I couldn't begin to take that as a hobby. Because the passion wasn't really there. You know, I was watching it because I needed something to watch to keep me sane through COVID and, you know, and lockdown and all that other stuff. But Nerf as a hobby was never really a possibility for me until COVID came along and I actually started, you know, appreciating the cool shit that the nerfing hobby does. Like, you know, with the different ammo types and the different velocity caps and all the 3D printed stuff and all the custom made stuff. And the conversion from, you know, full-length darts to rival rounds to then short lengths, and then having dumb stuff like Mega XL that you can just across a fucking football field now. Misplaced Moose, you're a disturbing human being and I love you for it. And then you got like the other avenues like Laser X and Laser Ops, you know, laser tag, that kind of thing. And then you got the gel balls, which I'm not as big in. I think the gel ball collection's like 1/10 of the size of the actual Nerf collection at this point. But it has introduced a lot of things into my life, and a lot of money has been spent, I will admit. But it hasn't been done out of bragging rights or, you know, a selfish need to have something to show off. It is out of just sheer disbelief that these things even exist. Like, this exists and was produced en masse and sold in stores. Like, this is ridiculous. I love it. Like, these kinds of things, it's been a big kind of push, in my mind at least, for this to become my main hobby and just, you know, get the wild shit out there. Obviously I'm in the UK, so I'm limited by, you know, secondhand purchasing and all that kind of stuff. And covering new stuff is not really something I do because I'm not interested in much of the new stuff. You know, like most of the N series stuff, I'm not particularly that interested in, but, you know, it got ridiculous with the Infinite and fairly solid with the Pinpoint. You know, that's a decent sniper rifle in terms of N series. That's actually decent. The Strike Back I kind of only got because it was a shotgun aesthetic. I kind of like that kind of thing. And the 6-shot, obviously it's a next gen strong arm, so, you know. But all the stuff that's coming out this year, there's only really one that has me interested, and that's the Galactic Commander, I think. It's the flywheel one that has the 3 fire selects and all that kind of thing. The select fire and all that kind of stuff. That's really the only thing I care about, because if it's good, then cool, that's like a cheap avenue for select fire in comparison to the hobbyist stuff, which is a lot more expensive. But getting back on point, I don't use this channel as a platform to brag. I use this channel as a platform to show what cool shit can be done when they actually care. And the stuff that I've dunked on, like the Alpha Strike stuff, they knew it was gonna suck. They made it to be terrible, but people bought it because it was cheap. And then Elite 2.0 came out and fucking ruined everything, except for the full auto one, which was actually pretty decent. Yeah, but I mostly just use this as like a, you want to see something dumb? Here you go. This is my magnum opus in terms of the collection and all that kind of thing. Unless I can get my hands on a Percy's by the end of the year, which I highly doubt, because it took me 2 years to find this one, and I found this last week. I highly doubt I'm gonna be able to complete the ridiculous rival trilogy, the RRT, but you know, it's considering I found this, it's not out of the realm of possibility that the RRT could actually be complete at some point. I don't know when. Fuck knows how I'm gonna do it. But someday your third brother, your second brother, there we go, because your first one's already there. Your second brother will make its way, and I will call that my best purchase. But you know, this is amazing. God, I have rambled for half an hour. This is crazy. I've got to start cutting this down. Okay. Anyway, back to it. Yeah. If you have the true passion for this hobby, and admittedly you splash the cash a fair bit, try and get your hands on this. It looks amazing. I mean, this thing looks insane. Even empty, this thing looks insane. And yeah. This is it. The magnum opus. There is not much I can do after this. There will be possibly no more legendary purchases like this. Obviously my energy level is going to be just as high about stuff, but I think in terms of sheer disbelief that it actually showed up and just sheer spectacle, there is nothing, I think, that will top this. Although that egg-shot piston pump does look pretty good. Maybe. That'll come over eventually. But till then, this is the peak. This is the peak. Yeah. I'm gonna cut this off here because if I don't, I'm gonna be sat here for another 20 minutes rambling. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so that you don't miss another upload. And I will see you all